Right now, the day's biggest news stories from a Vegas perspective. This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro. 1, 2,
3. All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take. Sharp and Shapiro. I'm actually looking forward to a 3-day weekend. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. A lot of sports. Going to be going to the. You know what? It's funny. I've been going to Vegas Golden Knights games for a while as a member of the media, as I did yesterday. But for the first time since the Vegas Golden Knights have been here, I'm actually going to the game as a fan with a ticket with a friend of mine. What do you think about that, JD? I'm going to wear for the first time a Vegas Golden Knights jersey. Yes, I do have one. And I'm going to be going to the game in the T-Mobile with a fan with maybe an adult beverage in my hand.
So wait, adult beverage? I don't buy that. You barely booze, Brian.
The friend I am going to the game with said that she would go with me only if I had some drinks with her. And I agreed. So take that for what you want, okay? Take it for what you want.
So you said you had a Knights jersey?
I do have a Knights jersey.
Which player's on the back?
It's not a player. It says 99 on it, and it's an October 1 thing on the back. And
that's cool.
It's one of the jerseys that says Vegas Strong. And it's a regular Vegas Golden Knights jersey, but it says Vegas Strong on the back. So it's kind of cool. So I'm going to be wearing that for the first time and going to a game. So I'm excited about that. And they're playing a pretty good hockey team in the New York Islanders, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Speaking of sports.
I think that game goes under.
Speaking of sports, by the way, as you know, the Houston Astros organization has completely embarrassed Major League Baseball. And by the way, Major League Baseball should be embarrassed because for years, the way they handled the steroid issue, they turned a blind eye for it. And the only reason why now that they clamp down on steroids, make no mistake about it, it's because of Jose Canseco. They did nothing to police steroids until Jose Canseco wrote his book. So the reason why I bring that up.
But you can't deny that the Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire era was outstanding for baseball. But ratings improved tremendously. Fan support improved tremendously.
Right, but it has.
They let steroids happen because it was good for the sport from a commercial standpoint.
But that's not my point. My point is the reason that, they turned the reasons why they did it doesn't matter to me. The bottom line is they did it. They didn't police steroid use. They let teams and players cheat for years until Jose Canseco wrote a book, and there's a reason why I'm bringing that up. Same thing applies here. For years, no, not just postseason this past year, for years, the Houston Astros have been cheating. How do we know that? Because people that have been in the organization have admitted to it, that they have been cheating for years. This was not just a situation where they were slamming on trash cans in the dugout, giving their hitter an idea of not only the type of pitch, but where it was going to be. I personally believe that they were using devices. Now, there are players on the Houston Astros that are saying they were not wearing devices. I don't believe them. I think they're lying. And I think the only reason why they're admitting that there was any cheating at all is because they have to admit it, because the evidence is overwhelming. The fact that Major League Baseball is not policing players, I always have a problem pronouncing this word, autonomy, right? Am I pronouncing that right? They gave them autonomy?
Yes, autonomy is the correct word.
They gave them autonomy for giving up all the dirt. And because of that, they're not policing players. Are you effing kidding me? This is a disgrace. Major League Baseball, from the commissioner all the way down, you are a disgrace to baseball. You are tarnishing the sport. Every single one of these players that are proven cheaters should be punished, period. Now, I want to play you a little bit of audio, and this really pisses me off. This is the owner, Jim Crane's, public, quote-unquote, apology in regards to this cheating scandal. Keep in mind, they just started talking about it because yesterday was the first day of spring training. Have a listen to Jim Crane's comments.
Our opinion is, that this didn't impact the game. We had a good team. We won the World Series, and we'll leave it at that.
Did you say you feel like this didn't impact the game? And what do you mean by that?
I didn't say it didn't impact the game. Basically, as the commissioner said in his report, he's not going to go backwards. It's hard to determine how it impacted the game, if it impacted the game, and that's where we're going to leave it.
Jim, sign stealing is a distinct advantage for the hitter. So how is it that it doesn't affect competition? So then what are you guys apologizing for?
We're apologizing because we broke the rules.
But isn't sign stealing a distinct advantage for the hitter, so doesn't it automatically impact competition?
It could possibly do that. It could possibly not.
Possibly. You clown. First of all, he was caught red-handed. He said it didn't impact the game, and then a member of the media, rightfully so, and by the way, that woman who was very, very good. She's very good. And that guy, wait, did you just say that sign stealing didn't impact the game? Well, I didn't say it impact. Yes, you did. You just said it, you freaking liar.
What he really means and what his underlying case here is that since this can't be measured how much it impacted the game, it'd be like being in a lawsuit and claiming that all the damages are speculative. He's relying on the fact that we don't really know if it impacted the game or if it didn't impact the game. Everything at this point is all up in the air. The truth is, it absolutely impacted the game. Your team cheated, and you sound like and I've never used this word once on the show, but you sound like a buffoon, Jim Crane.
Don't steal my rule.
You sound like a buffoon right now, and the fact that your team's valuation has gone up almost 1,000% in the last couple of years, because the Houston Astros 5 or 6 years ago were nothing. They had number one pick after number one pick. They drafted Garrett Cole and Alex Bregman and Carlos Correa, and they developed a nice nucleus of talent. A.J. Hinch was a good coach, but Jim Crane, you guys cheated. You stole the World Series from the Dodgers in 2017. Altuve stole the MVP from Aaron Judge in 2017. Alex Bregman went on TV yesterday and even admitted himself that he cheated. And now you're saying that it didn't impact the game because the damages might be speculative. Yeah. That is just embarrassing, and that's so bad for Major League Baseball and so bad for the Houston Astros.
Can I just say what Crane should have said? We made a horrible mistake. This is what we did. It absolutely could have and most likely did affect the outcome of the game. We're very sorry we did that. I mean, there is just no heartfelt apology there. Crane, you are a moron. And by the way, let's talk about Jose Altuve for a second, who, by the way, I now have zero respect for. Yes, we all know he's a great player. He's a great hitter. As a human being, I have zero respect for Jose Altuve. Here's why.
Is he a great hitter?
Well, it's a good point.
Is he a great player?
Well, listen, it's very fair to question that. I'm not saying it's not fair, but let me just tell you the facts here. Everyone who's seen video, you can see that there's some sort of device he's wearing, okay? This isn't a question. And then when they're trying to pull on his jersey, he's telling them not to. Why would he do that? And then he's pointing to something that looks like his device.
And then he mouths something, and it says, right. I got a piece on.
I got a piece on. That's exactly what he said. Jose Altuve, you are a lying scumbag. Okay, that's what you are. You are a liar. You have forever tarnished the game of baseball. And the only reason why your organization is apologizing, or people you are apologizing, is because you got red-handed caught. You got caught. And the fact that Altuve is continuing to lie. By the way, the only person, you mentioned Correa, the only person yesterday that was even close to being honest, and even his apology wasn't heartfelt.
It's questionable, yeah.
Yeah, was Correa, because he said it was definitely an advantage. That was the only person within the organization that actually admitted that stealing these signs was an advantage.
How could it not be an advantage? When a pitcher pitches the ball, they get it thrown back to them. They wipe their hand on their hat a couple of times. They look at their glove. They probably spend 35 or 40. We had a YouTube poster say it was 24 seconds. No, it's probably 40 to, or anywhere from 35 to a minute in between pitches, preparing for the next pitch. And if the batter knows what's coming, they literally have 30. I mean, we're talking professional baseball players who get paid millions of dollars to simply hit a ball that from variation styles of pitchers, from varying pitchers. They have 40 seconds ahead of time to decide what or to decide how they want to approach the pitch that they know is coming based on location. And like Mike Bolsinger's attorney who came on our show said, a pitcher who doesn't throw hard is at a total disadvantage because it's all about location for them. It's all about deception. If the deception is gone, then they're just an average pitcher at that point.
And we'll take some phone calls on this. What do you think should be the punishment? Do you agree with me? Do you think that players should be punished for this? How do you think Major League Baseball has handled this? We'll take your phone calls at 702-257-5396. Again, that number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation, 257-5396. But before we take calls on this issue, I want you to play this audio again if we can. Again, this is Houston Astros owner Jim Crane. His first comments since this cheating scandal, day one of spring training. He's asked about the cheating scandal. He was caught red-handed. And I want to play this again for you because it is mind-boggling to me. This is the owner of the Houston Astros talking about this cheating scandal. I want to play this again. Have a listen to this.
Our opinion is, that this didn't impact the game. We had a good team. We won the World Series, and we'll leave it at that.
Did you say you feel like this didn't impact the game? And what do you mean by that?
I didn't say it didn't impact the game. Basically, as the commissioner said in his report, he's not going to go backwards. It's hard to determine how it impacted the game, if it impacted the game, and that's where we're going to leave it.
Jim, sign stealing is a distinct advantage for the hitter. So how is it that it doesn't affect competition? So then what are you guys apologizing for?
We're apologizing because we broke the rules.
But isn't sign stealing a distinct advantage for the hitter, so doesn't it automatically impact competition?
It could possibly do that. It could possibly not.
This guy sounds like Alan Dershowitz defending Donald Trump. Remember Alan Dershowitz? He gets up there on the stand. He says, well, Donald Trump feels like it was the best interest of the country for him to win in 2020. So, he didn't do anything wrong. He felt like it was okay to dig up dirt on the Bidens. This idiot is up there on the podium doing a press conference. Jim Crane is not just some guy.
This is much more egregious than what Donald Trump did.
Jim Crane is not just some guy. He is the owner of the Houston Astros, and he's saying it didn't impact the game.
And the craziest part is this guy's net worth has gone up exponentially due to this.
This guy is the owner of the Houston Astros. He's saying it didn't impact the game. And then a member of the media says, wait, did you just say it didn't impact the game? And then the next sentence is, well, I didn't say it didn't impact the game. Yes, you did. You just said it. Right. What is wrong with you?
Well,
I'm going nuts here. It's like Giuliani. Hold on. Giuliani makes an appearance with Chris Cuomo on CNN. And Cuomo says, did you go to Russia? Did you try to dig up dirt on Biden? He goes, no. And then 10 seconds later, he says, yeah, I did go to Russia. I did try to dig up dirt on the Biden. Wait, you just told me you didn't. It's the exact same thing. This is nuts. It's driving me crazy. This guy is a billionaire. And I understand you want to defend your team. It's too late for that. You're telling me that stealing signs, knowing not only the type of pitch that's coming to the plate, but the location of the pitch doesn't give you an advantage? It might not have been an advantage. I'm losing my mind in my voice, JD.
I think what he meant to say, and I'm not defending it, but I think he meant to say we don't know exactly how much it impacted the game. And it came out, it didn't impact the game. But that's his entire defense right now, is we have no idea because we can't track it because no one's ever done this before. And there's not software integrated to actually know.
I have an idea.
But since,
let's talk in general terms, JD.
We don't know. The truth is, look at Mike Bolster. Look at that game, and I'll go back to that. He was a relief pitcher. He throws junk. He doesn't throw hard. So the Astros knew exactly where his pitches were going. Well, and he was a decent relief pitcher. He had decent stats. He wasn't outstanding, but he was definitely above average. He had 29 pitches against the Houston Astros. They had 4 runs off 4 hits, and he walked 3. And he got 1 out.
But there's an easier way.
In 1/3 of 1 inning.
We agree.
That's how big of an advantage the Astros had on specific pitchers.
Understood. But let me just say it in more general terms so that maybe you're not a sports fan, you can understand this. Let me just say it. Make no mistake about it. Every hitter had an advantage. Now, how much of an advantage they have, we can talk about that. But if you're a Major League Baseball player and you're a hitter for the Houston Astros in the World Series, you know exactly where the pitch is going to be. You know exactly the kind of pitch is coming at you. It is an enormous advantage for every hitter, make no mistake about it, and everybody, and I mean everybody that was involved in this, that used this cheating, used this, that may have used a device, should be punished to the extremes. I don't take the whole team and take the whole Houston Astros out of Major League Baseball for a year, hit them where it hurts, take their salaries away. And, if you were cheating, I'm not talking about people in the bullpen. I'm not talking about, I'm talking about everybody who cheated, who knowingly cheated. Give them a year suspension. Suspend the whole organization as far as I'm concerned.
The GM was fired. The head coach was fired, or the general manager.
None of the players were disciplined.
And I think that has to change. I think that has to change. If you're going to fire the GM, well, because of major salaries, because of endorsements, because Bregman, Correa, Altuve, Brantley, I mean, they're all stars.
It's a joke. Let's take some phone calls on this. 702-257-5396. Here's my question to you. Do you think the players should be responsible as well and should be punished for this? How do you think the Houston Astros handled this? What do you think about the Astros owner Jim Crane and his lackluster apology, his ridiculous explanation? How do you think Major League Baseball handled this, and what do you think should happen to the Houston Astros, particularly the players? 702-257-5396 is the number to call. Again, if you want to be a part of the program, give us a buzz at 257-5396. Let's go to Paul. Paul, you're first up on the Vegas Take. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Paul?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
How you doing, Brian?
Good.
JD?
Doing well.
I've been a baseball fan my whole life since the 50s, okay? I've seen all the great ones play. This is a disgrace. And let me tell you what. The Black Sox scandal,
Yep.
okay, the steroids, all right, the Pete Rose deal. I mean, they should be banned from baseball, whoever gets caught. That's the way I see it, because this really tarnishes the game. I played ball to my mid-20s, okay, semi-pro, and let me tell you what, if you know what pitch is coming, you have a distinct advantage. I mean, big time.
And if you're a professional player, I mean, it's basically akin to having a ball on a tee. It's kind of this. It's kind of if you have an off-speed pitcher and you know where that ball is going and you're used to hitting 97, 98.
No question.
I mean,
an off-speed pitch or a curveball. Okay, all good hitters can hit the fastball. Okay?
Yeah.
But if you know that deuce is coming or that off-speed pitch is coming, I mean, this is a joke. They should be banned from
So,
baseball
Paul, let me ask you
forever.
this. Let me ask you this, Paul. And what do you make of the owner, Jim Crane? You just heard
He's
his
a joke.
comments.
He's a disgrace.
Yeah.
He should be run out of baseball.
And I
Right.
agree.
That's the way I see
I
it.
totally agree. He should be asked to sell his team at the valuation that it was before the 2017 season and be out of
Cheated
baseball.
cheated all the fans. I mean, I have a passion for baseball. I love it. I mean, I'm a psycho. I'll watch 2-3 games at the same time. I mean, there's a game within the game, okay? I'm strategizing all the time when I'm watching these games. What are they going to do? Are they going to hit and run? They're going to bunt? They're going to steal? It's disgusting. It really is. It's terrible.
The only thing I think I disagree with you on, Paul, is this: is that these players, particularly some of these hitters that were involved, and all the players that were involved, I still think they should have a chance to be a professional. However, at minimum, Paul, and I mean at minimum, 1 year suspension without any money, so they can take an entire year and think about what they did.
Yeah, or even a standard 80-game PED suspension, something along those lines.
I'm probably overreacting, but I can't help it.
No,
because
I understand.
I really don't think you are, especially considering, and again, I keep going back to it, the off-speed pitcher. If you know where that pitch is coming, he has absolutely no chance whatsoever, especially if you're an all-star like a Springer, a Correa, a Brantley, an Altuve, what have you.
However, Paul, I will agree with you on this. Now, that was my opinion on players. Minimum 1 year suspension, no pay. As far as Crane goes, he should be abolished from baseball. As far as managers go, any type of manager, I don't care if you're the third base coach or first base coach. If you knew what was going on, you're done. You're out of the game.
And what kind of an example is this setting for the young kids? Kids that play high school ball, kids that play a little league ball. I mean, come on, man. They idolize this Altuve. As far as I'm concerned, he's a bum. And you know what? This guy was hitting 340, 350. I want to see how he does now on a level playing field.
You know what? He's going to get pegged, Paul. He's going to get pegged.
He will absolutely get hit a couple of times.
These guys are going to get hit.
You're going to see them over. If they don't get suspended over the course of the season, teams are going to go after them. I am very certain of that. Yeah. And the real question is, people who put big money on the Dodgers to win the 17 World Series, what happens with them? Did they get cheated? Did they get cheated out of big money to win the World Series?
If I'm on the Dodgers,
I believe that they did.
If I'm on the Dodgers, and I'm one of those journeymen, and you could name a few, and I'm chasing, a championship my entire career, and I know for sure, this isn't, we're not guessing now, we know for sure that you were cheated, and you were possibly cheated out of a World Series. I understand these guys make a lot of money. I get that. I understand that. But with that being said, I mean, give me a break. You're telling me that you're not going to hold any of these players responsible?
Brian, the Dodgers are furious. Cody Bellinger went on today and said that Altuve basically stole the MVP from Aaron Judge. The Dodgers, in my opinion, are going to win the 2020 World Series, and it might not be close. They might break the wins record. That team is stacked top to bottom, and they are legitimately pissed off.
Yeah, no, there's no question. This is a story that's not going away. I hope a lot of these hitters that cheated get absolutely pegged. I really do.
Well, if they don't get suspended, I think they will over the course of the season.
Every pitcher that they cheated, I hope they peg him. I'm not wishing serious bodily harm.
Well, you're going to find out the situations like this Bolsinger, you're going to see 7 or 8 more of these situations come out of the woodwork. Very, very similar circumstances where an off-speed pitcher who's usually got like a 3.2 or a 2.9 ERA, which is decent for a reliever, goes in and just gets completely shelled by these Astros, whether they're still in the league or not.
Yeah. Well, I certainly hope so. 257-5396. Let's go to Pat. Pat, you are next up on the Vegas Take. What do you make of this, Pat?
Hey, what's up, Pat?
Hi, I think it's absolutely ridiculous that these players were not penalized as well. And for them to say that they're even questioning whether or not it impacted the game, believe me, it did. It did. I played this game. I love this game. I remember years and years ago when my dad was coaching, even at the little league level, and he was a college coach, but even at the little league level, you could practice. The kids would practice in the afternoon how to hit a knuckleball, how to hit a changeup, how to hit a fastball. These are kids. These are kids who you could see the difference once they knew how that pitch was coming.
Pat, can I ask you a question now that you bring up kids, if you don't mind? Do you have kids yourself?
Go ahead.
Do you have kids yourself, Pat?
I do. I have 5 grandchildren.
Oh, God bless you, Pat. So what do you think this example sets for some of these young kids?
I think it is atrocious. Are you telling me that they don't realize the impact this is going to have on kids across this nation, knowing that there was no penalty for the players? These kids, what I would tell my children, I don't care. And in fact, I had this experience with one of my sons in Pop Warner. I said, I don't care what the coach is saying. You know right from wrong. I've taught you. Your dad has taught you.
Yeah.
These kids were in weight. There were weight limits in Pop Warner, and they brought a kid in from a different part of town to play the championship game. He was much bigger and much older. And when I found that out, I went over there to the sidelines. I said, do you know what's going on? My son said, yes. I said, and you're okay with this?
Yeah.
What should I do? I said, you act on your conscience. I'm going to let you decide. He walked off the field.
Wow. So as a mother and a grandmother, you're sitting down, let's just say, with the Houston Astros owner, Jim Crane. What would you say to him right now?
I would say to him, you're a disgrace. You have disgraced this game. You should walk away. You shouldn't wait to be fired. You should walk away. You owe the country an apology. You owe the players an apology, even though they're adults and they should know better. But you owe this game an apology because this is a black mark on it, and you have stolen the World Series from the Dodgers. And I wasn't even a Dodgers fan.
There you go.
San Francisco.
Hey, well said, Pat. I believe that Jim Crane should be asked, after a formal apology, he should be asked to sell the team back to a different, or back to Major League Baseball, again, at the valuation that the team had before the 2017 season, and he should be banned from baseball for life.
Well said, Pat. I appreciate the phone call. We're getting calls from people that have played the game. So this is personal to a lot of people. If you played the game, imagine how some of these players might feel. Now, I would imagine if they're making a lot of money on a yearly salary, that eases the pain a little bit. But how do you think some of these players, like some of these pitchers that are maybe getting $200,000 a year, how do you think they feel?
And then they're getting $556,000, but in a market like LA, where the average house is $1.3 million, or San Francisco, where the average house is $1.4 million, that money really doesn't translate. Now, obviously, a Clayton Kershaw who's making $30 million a year, but there's only one Clayton Kershaw. I mean, even the guys who aren't making huge money, they still want to win that ring.
Oh, no question.
They want that ring.
No question. And we're continuing to cover this story. But coming up next, a guy by the name of Anthony Curtis, one of the best card counters in the history of blackjack, joining us in Studio Nest. Can't wait to hear these stories. Anthony Curtis, coming up next.